Hi, welcome to this video. I hope you're okay. I hope you're doing amazing. Before we start, I just want to mention that I am not in any way, shape, or form a licensed therapist, psychologist, or a medical professional. Everything that I share comes from my own research, from personal experiences, or my interest in psychology and self-improvement. Take whatever resonates with you, think critically. And if you're dealing with a serious mental health problem, please reach out to a qualified professional in your area. If you're struggling with your mental health, please know that you don't have to go through it alone. I've included links in my bio where you can find mental health resources and crisis support in your country. Please seek help if you need it. Disclaimer 2. It is 32 degrees Celsius today here in Germany. It is hot. Like, it's so hot. I'm sweating and I'm not even doing anything right now. I'm in the shade. I am sitting at home, the blinds are up, there's everything that I could have done, and yet it is so hot. I don't know if you can tell, but I've been sitting here for 20 minutes and the sweat is everywhere. Like, it is so hot. We don't have ACs in Germany because we are not used to this kind of heat. We're not prepared. Like, climate change is here and we're not prepared at all. On Friday it's gonna be like 36 degrees even. Like, it's gonna be bad. Please keep your animals safe. Keep whatever animal there is out there safe. If you have animals living in your garden or somewhere outside, please keep in mind to give them something cold, some shady places, water to drink, and food to eat to get them the liquids that they need. Please keep in mind that these animals in a cage or in a home cannot regulate their heat inside of their bodies. Keep in mind that we have it good with sweating. Animals cannot do that. So please look out for these animals. Put water in a bowl. Put it somewhere where they can reach it. So you wake up in the morning. You haven't showered in a week. You haven't eaten properly in days. Answering messages is so difficult. You've given up on it altogether. You know it's not laziness because in your head you scream at yourself to finally stand up and do something because you want to be productive. You want to do something. You want to get work done. You want to reach something in life. Like, you want to be productive. You want to work on things that make you succeed. Yet you sit there and you stare at the wall. If someone looked at you, they'd probably say you don't have a thought behind those eyes. But inside of yourself, you know, you're screaming at yourself that you want to do something, that you want to move, that you want to have the energy, that you don't want to feel exhausted anymore because it's tiring and you're just tired altogether. You want to feel energy again. You want to feel like life is okay to live again. You want to wake up in the morning and don't feel so exhausted after sleeping, because why do people get so much energy after sleeping yet you wake up in the morning and you're just more tired for some reason? How is that even possible? So you lie there not being able to do anything, and knowing that you're not able to do anything makes it even worse. Like, it's already pretty bad that you're not able to move your body with your own free will. It feels like your free will was taken from you and now you're just a piece of flesh and bones lying there waiting for time to pass so that you can eventually can stand back up and do something. But that time never comes. That time you're waiting for feels like it is so far away that reaching it is impossible. So what you do is continue living in your head, wanting to do something but never actually doing it. And that's making the problem even worse, because now it's not just your mental health that is bad, but it's also the environment around you that is making you feel bad. So it's double bad. Like, as if it wasn't able to get any worse, now it's just doubled. So what do you do? How do you get out of this loop? How do you get out of this state? How do you get control back over your body so that you can actually stand up and feel productive and actually feel like you're doing something? Number 1 is surround yourself with positivity. Right now, I want you to go on Pinterest, on Spotify, on YouTube, on Instagram, whatever platform you visit the most. I want you either change the algorithm to positive ones, or I want you to log off or create a new account altogether. Because I remember back then when I was in a really bad space, I always surrounded myself with sad music, sad lo-fi, sad Pinterest quotes, sad whatever. Everything was sad. Everything was miserable. Everything was horrible. And I surrounded myself with this. My whole entire environment was full with depression and anxiety, exhaustion. Like, I was in this hellhole and I was already in such a bad mental state. Surrounding myself with all this bad stuff made it even worse. So I want you to go on all those platforms that you're in right now and actually delete all of them. Either delete them, make new accounts, or try to change the algorithm. Go on there, write some positive stuff, self-improvement quotes, self-improvement music, happy lo-fi, happy songs to listen to. It might feel weird at the beginning, okay? You might feel like this is not fitting my mood at all. This is not fitting to my current state right now. This is not fitting to anything that is in my life right now. But let me tell you, if you continue surrounding yourself with all this negativity, it will stay in your life. You have to get yourself out of that space. If you need to, you have to push yourself out of there. Delete the apps if you need to. What I did back then, it was, oh my God. I had an entire Pinterest folder where I put all of this depression stuff on there so I could look back at it whenever I felt like it. And that was basically every day. I always felt like looking back at all these bad quotes because I always felt bad. So I was in this cycle, in this everyday loop where I just continued to fill myself to the brim with negativity and depressive music and depressive vibes, and everything was horrible. Everything was horrible. And I worsened it by looking at all this stuff, by listening to all this stuff. So, third time I'm saying this, but delete the app if you need to right now. Create a new account. Surround yourself with positivity, even if it feels weird at the beginning. It is supposed to feel weird because you're not at that stage yet where you are positive. It is normal. It is normal. So go create that new account. I don't want you to listen to any bad songs, any depressive songs any longer from today on. So go on these new accounts. Look at puppy videos if you need to. If you want to scroll on TikTok 24/7, then at least surround yourself with positive stuff. I don't want to see any more of those depressive videos on your feed. If I see one, I will be angry. Really. So go delete that account, make a new one, make it about animals, make it about positivity, make it about workout, whatever you like. Make it about positive art. There's so much good art out there. So many great artists that need a new follower. I don't know. So go out there, find these accounts. There's so many of them. Make your algorithm understand that you are out looking for positive stuff. If you need to, create a new email address even. It doesn't matter. Just get off of these platforms that spread these negativity, and you can continue lying in bed if you want to. Just do not look at these things anymore. You want to go to the gym because you haven't been for so long. Surround yourself with those things first before you can do it. Okay, the first step is not standing up, taking your workout gym clothes, and then going there. The first step is to surround yourself until you're ready and motivated enough. And how do you motivate yourself? By surrounding yourself with that stuff. So, if it's art, if it's gym stuff, if it's cooking, if it's cleaning videos, like, I don't know. And if you find yourself suddenly feeling bad again, like so horrible that you need to Google or search for something that is bad, remember, you locked off this is not a part of you anymore. And if there is nothing positive to listen to, then you find something that doesn't have like lyrics and you just listen to some instrumentals, positive instrumentals. Like, you can reinvent yourself in these accounts. Just create a new identity, because all of this that you've done right now is also, you created a depressive identity with those accounts and you feed your mind all this negativity again and again every day. So just do the opposite of that. Create a new identity. You already feel bad about rotting in bed, then you shouldn't feel worse after standing up and actually wanting to do something or doing something in general. Okay, I have said this in another video already, but this is such a good thing to do, such an easy thing to do, that I need to say it again and list it here. It is to make a list of the easiest tasks you can manage to do. If you feel like motivating yourself and you feel like there's so much to do, but so little energy to actually handle those things and actually manage to get through all of this, then I recommend you make a list. You write on there that, for example, you want to clean, I don't know, the dining room's table. So what is on there? There is some paper on there, some mugs maybe. Maybe there's a plant that is not supposed to be there. Maybe there's some clothing on there that needs to be tidied up, or it is maybe dirty clothing that has to go to the laundry basket. So you take your list and you write down, what did I even say? Get the paper. maybe do not sort the paper, like that is too much maybe to ask for, but take the paper, put it somewhere where it's more, like maybe you have like a desk or something for that. Maybe put it on another desk to do it sometime else. Or if you have the energy to actually take care of those papers, to sort them, to put them wherever they need to be, amazing, do that. Then after, there's a mug, there's 2 mugs maybe. Then you write down 1 mug into the dishwasher, and then 2nd mug into the dishwasher. You already did 3 things out of the entire list, which is so good. Then maybe there's clothing, as we said. We have like 2 pieces or 3 pieces. You can either make 3 sentences, like 3 tasks out of these, or you just do 1 task. 3 pieces of clothing, put in the laundry basket. And then you did a task again. So you did so many tasks. And if that is exhausting, I understand. If it's too much, only do the task you feel comfortable doing. If cleaning the table as 1 task is too much, don't do that. Just separate it into as many steps as you need. Whatever you manage to be able to do, it's amazing. Like, be proud of the steps you have taken instead of those you have not taken, okay? Because otherwise you wouldn't have done anything. So you'd stay on the same spot. But you didn't. You managed to move. You managed to take all these steps and do all these tasks. Today is already better than yesterday. Please do not ignore this accomplishment. Okay, I've talked a lot. But 3rd tip and trick, maybe have a good day. And it's a bit better than yesterday, because yesterday maybe was really bad. So today you already went on YouTube, you Googled how to get better, self-help videos, mental health, how to accomplish things again, how to get out of that zone. This is already a big step. You're already watching this video asking for help. And asking is such an immense step. Be proud of yourself for that step already, okay? So I don't want you to think in lifespan. I don't want you to think in centuries, and also not in years, because that is just such a long time, and you might lose path again, and you might feel like, okay, it's the 2nd of January, I'm rotting in bed again because I feel so bad, but I actually said I didn't want to do that on New Year's, so now I have to wait another year to try this again. This is not how it works. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we are going to think in days, because it's easier to get to the next 24 hours instead of getting to a new year. Okay? I think we all get that. I think we all understand why that is. So if you mess up today, it's easy to get to tomorrow and try again. Tomorrow is there for you. Okay, if today is bad, whatever, if you mess up, then so what? So what? You're human, you're trying, actually trying something is already a part of accomplishing something. Like, it's half the accomplishment. What I'm trying to say is, even the stuff that you don't recognize as accomplishments are still accomplishments. Your task or your accomplishment was to clean a room. Okay, I'm always getting back to cleaning rooms because that was always a mess back then for me. The goal was to clean a room, but all you did was get up and maybe you did pillow. You shaken a pillow and put it there, and that was all you did. But that's already a success. That's more than you did yesterday. So we have to recognize them as accomplishments too, because they are. They are. At the end of the day, there is a wall in front of you. People do not understand how big of a wall that can be, how such a thing can hinder you from actually doing something in your life. And a healthy person cannot relate. So do not even try to get their approval, because they will not understand. If they're not approving, that is not a person you should talk to about your mental health. So, 4th one is eating. And I know how horrible it is to be hungry yet not have the energy to make yourself food to eat. So here's something I did back when it was really bad, and it helped me in a way. Like, not every day, but when I needed it most, it did help me. So what you can do is, if you're tired of always eating pizza or to-go foods that you only put in the oven and then, it's unhealthy, it makes you feel even worse sometimes, it makes you feel bloated and uncomfortable, and it doesn't make you feel good in your skin. So get yourself some vegetables. Could be anything. Paprika, broccoli, zucchini. Is that the English word? I don't know. Zucchini? I don't know, but get yourself some of that too and eat it raw. You can always eat the paprika raw. You can always eat a broccoli raw. If you have some health issues with food, then of course don't do that. But if you can, please just eat it raw. Whatever, doesn't matter. It's better than eating that pizza again. It's already bad enough to eat that shit, but with a bad mental health, eating that and feeling worse, that's shit. So go grab the paprika, go grab whatever. You can put salt on there, eat a carrot. I wouldn't do that with mushrooms. I don't know if you can eat them raw. I wouldn't do that. With leek, I also don't know if you can eat it raw. Right, I will Google that. Let me see. But I wouldn't take that for granted. Like, I would still do my own research again. They say you can eat it raw. Like leek and mushrooms, I wouldn't eat raw. I don't know. I never did that. But whatever else you have, it's better than frozen pizza every day. Or you can eat it every now and then. You can eat your frozen pizza and then you can eat the vegetables sometime later. It doesn't matter. If you want to feel better, but you don't have the energy to actually do something about it, just eat the shit raw. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I hope that helps. I loved that tip back then because I was always like, I have to prepare this stuff, I have to do something with it. But if you understand in your mind that none of these foods need preparation for you to eat it, it feels like suddenly you have access to them and can just enjoy eating them and do not have to stay hungry because you're just too tired to prep a meal, right? That's why I love this tip. It's just easy. So we're at tip and trick number 5. Okay, so life is already pretty difficult. If it's so difficult for you to even stand up and do the easiest of tasks, make it easier. If there's nothing left inside of you, there's no ounce of energy, nothing. You want to drink more water. You never do that because you feel like there is just a wall between the stuff you want to do and yourself. Preparing a meal is so many steps away that you feel like it is not reachable, so you don't even begin to try to do it. With water, it's just bottle is somewhere not immediately reachable. And it's also closed and it's like heavy. Like all these things might sound stupid and weird, but in your brain it makes sense. It makes enough sense that you do not even think about drinking water anymore. So you just skip it. But you still want to have enough water intake, then I have an idea for you. For me, it's still pretty difficult to do things that are not in my reach. I understood that drinking water is something that needs to be easy for me to do it regularly. So what I did is I bought a reusable water bottle, but it needs to have a straw in it. Like, just make it as easy as you can. Buy a reusable bottle with a straw, and then drinking feels more accessible suddenly. It's like a burden your brain makes. For some reason, I don't know why it does that, but if you want to drink more water, the straw part is really important. I don't know why it's easier. I can't even tell. My brain functions in a way I cannot understand. But I realized it does make it easier, so I just do it. You can also do that with cleaning. Like if you have baskets of things, just sort the stuff once into each basket, or like wherever it needs to go, and whatever needs to go in there, you just throw it in there and then it's in there. So it's basically cleaned and not cleaned at the same time, but it's cleaned enough for you to, it's in a basket. It's supposed to be there, so it's cleaned up, okay? It's like a laundry basket. Like you just put it in there and then it's basically where it's supposed to be, right? So you just have to understand what's making you not do these things. Like if you're avoiding them because of a specific thing, like the sound of the vacuum cleaner, for example. If you're avoiding vacuum cleaning because of the sound and not because of the vacuum cleaning itself, then do something about the noise, not the vacuum cleaning, right? Like understand what your problem is inside of your head to like really go in depth with the problem and understand how you can solve it. For me, I was not able to go outside because I had such bad anxiety, and eventually I understood that reducing that anxiety could be handled by putting on ear pods, like the noise cancelling ones. And when I put them on, I realized, like I felt it in my body that I had more energy left after coming home. So I always did that until I didn't need it any longer. So now that I don't need it anymore, but I understand whenever I'm overstimulated, I put the earpods on and then I get home and I'm not that exhausted anymore because I regulate myself along the way. So if you want to do that as well, find the source of the problem, because sometimes it is not the object itself, it is something that object does to your brain that will be much better than avoiding it altogether. Okay, back when I was in a psychiatry, inpatient psychiatry, I had a single therapy session with a doctor, and he asked me if I could list my personas, like my inner personas that I had built along the way until that point, if I could list them. And I realized I had an inner child that I was like still trying to protect, probably still doing it. I had like a protecting persona, a child persona, like a grown-up persona, and like a teenage persona, a lot more. But basically what I'm trying to tell you is I had a child inside of me that was trying to protect, and that was the source of my anger, because that child could not protect itself back then. So I had built something around it that could, and that was all the anger that I always had when I talked to certain people or to certain types of people. It was just a reflection of who I could have been. If I could have protected myself, that would be the person I would have become. Or I turned into someone that I had needed back then. So I was protecting my inner child. And remember that you also probably have an inner child inside of you. And that child needs caring. That child needs support and help. So if you ever feel like you're not deserving of food, or not deserving of a shower, or of good things, or of a tidy house, of a good life, or of anything basically, remember there is a child inside of you that is waiting for you to be happy, to finally enjoy it too. Because when you heal, not only you heals, but also the past yous heal. The child heals, the teenager heals, the first grader, the second grader, whoever your persona is, whoever needs caring, is healing with you when you heal. So whenever you take care of yourself, remember, and that might feel like blackmailing because yes, there is no child, but in your mind there is. How would you treat a child? Well, hopefully, but you'd also take good care of it. Right? So why don't you do that with yourself? You are worth it. That inner child in yourself is worth it. They are waiting for you to get better so they can enjoy the positivity as well. Just this little thing that grew up in such a harsh environment and turned into a being that was just so negative and had such negative thoughts, I think they would probably enjoy a good time. You can always ask someone to force you to do whatever needs to be done. For example, you need to shower, but you cannot get into the shower yourself. You want to shower, the energy is there inside your mind, but not inside your body, so you feel disconnected. You have no line of getting a grip. Lift yourself up and get yourself into the shower and actually turn on the shower and shower. So for me, it's always like the first few steps are the hardest. I can do it myself most of the time, but on really bad days, I ask my partner if he can force me to go to shower because I cannot do it myself. This might be really uncomfortable for some people to admit, but if you have mental health problems, some days are just like that. And I had it worse. I had it much, much worse. So if you have a friend, a family member, a mother or father, or a sister, a boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, doesn't matter, a person who is willing to help you with whatever needs to be done, that you're in your mind understood that needs to be done, but your body is not listening, tell them to come and force you to do it. I can give an example. So if you want to go to the shower, just take that example, and you cannot get yourself to do it. Like you cannot get into the bathtub, you cannot turn on the shower head and actually start the shower. So if you're inside of the shower, it's okay, but you cannot get into the shower, then ask that person if it's okay for them to see you naked. Then okay, ask them to wait until you're undressed, then ask if they can force you to get into the bathtub, and then wait for you to turn on the water until you're entirely wet. Only after that they can go. So they have to wait until you're actually in the bathtub and actually put on and turn on the water, and until you are basically like fully wet, that they can go. Like you have to be honest. If you are just standing in the bathroom and you tell them, okay, I'm in the shower and I'm wet, like you can go, then you're just fooling yourself. Tell them to wait until you're actually totally wet in the shower and actually putting on shampoo until that person can go. You can do that with basically anything. You told yourself you would work on your computer to do something. Ask someone to sit next to you for the first 5 minutes, because the first 5 minutes are the hardest. But if they notice that whenever you go, you don't do your work or you continue doing something different, then they come back, sit, and then wait until you actually do it. And they do it so often until you do not need it any longer, until you are basically capable to do it yourself. And that might take some time. I mean, it's not easy to force someone that doesn't have the energy to do something. Watching that might feel a bit weird, but it will eventually get better, and the person that you're helping will be really thankful. If you are the person that needs that help, please ask for help. And if you are the person that actually is the one helping, I'm really thankful you're here. I'm thankful you're helping. It means the world, believe me. Even if the person that you're helping is not capable of communicating that, I know it means the world to them, because I was in their shoes and I know how hard it is. I know how thankful I am to my partner and how I still am every day. Number 8, ask yourself if your feelings that moment are valid. So you've gone through depression, you've gone through anxiety, you've gone to depersonalization, derealization, all of those things. Are you even able to still trust your mind with all that you went through? I mean, at some point, these emotions were valid. These emotions were there to protect you, to help you out of your state, out of the environment you grew up in. They were the walls that kept you alive when nothing else would have. That was like a defense mechanism that built inside of you to protect you from that environment back then. It's not helpful for you right now any longer. You're in a state that doesn't need that protection any longer. So why do you still trust it? Why do you still allow it to disrupt your life like that? Why do you allow it to protect you in a way that doesn't need that kind of protection any longer? So if you're scared, suddenly treat yourself like a child, because children often have emotions that they cannot regulate yet. They experience them in a much stronger way than we adults do, because they're children, they're new in this world. They experience so many outside influences at the same time. It's overstimulation pure. They don't know how to regulate that yet. It's just really difficult to understand that and understand what is happening to you at that moment. But if you're an adult, you can ask yourself if the feeling that you're feeling is valid. Is my anxiety that protected me back then still needed today? Do I still need to feel that feeling? Do I still need to feel so fearful? Do I need to experience that? Why do I still feel it? And understand that the environment you're in right now is a different one from back then. Fight or flight emotions that developed back then didn't adjust to the environment you're in right now. So what you're feeling might be a past emotion that allowed itself to bubble up onto the surface of your mind while you're in that new environment. Like you don't need that emotion any longer. You don't need that protection. So why are you still holding on to it? It's not valid. Understand that it's not part of you any longer and that you can let go of it finally. So for me, it was anger. Back then, I was angry all the time, and I needed that anger to protect myself from grown-ups, basically. And I developed something that stayed with me. The anger that protected me back then was still coming with me to my adult years, even though I did not need them any longer. I was out of that environment. I was out of that difficult time. So the anger that was once a lifesaver was now just something that broke relationships, basically, that hurt the relationships between myself and the people I liked and loved. It turned from a lifesaver into a burden, because I didn't need that protection any longer. I didn't need the anger to survive. I didn't need to protect my inner child anymore, because the environment that I needed protection from was not there any longer. So I had to unlearn the anger, and it took me a while. It still bubbles up onto the surface sometimes, and it's weird because I notice more and more that it's not an emotion I can control. It's not like myself that is doing it. It's like someone from the past is resurfacing and taking over to protect me. But it's getting better day by day, and I know it will for you as well. Just understand that these emotions is what kept you alive back then, and if you're in a different environment, that it's not something you need any longer. You are having shields on in a flower field, basically. What do you need a shield for in a flower field? So put that stuff away. It is not necessary. You're safe wherever you are. Hope you are. If you're not, please consider those numbers that I've listed down there. If you feel like there's a threat to your life, please, please, please stay safe. The emotions that you have might be from the past, because your body doesn't know that you're out of that difficult situation. It doesn't know that you've changed your environment and that it's much healthier now. How would it know? It just does what it always did, protect you. And you just have to teach your body that it can drop the shields, drop the armor, and that you're safe. So next tip or trick is you need to find out what helps you improve your mental state. So for many people, it's journaling. I see it a lot on TikTok and on Instagram that people love journaling. They love writing down what they feel and just looking back at it and, remembering the emotion of the day and the memories of that day and all of that. But I noticed that whenever I try to journal, I just think about the way I write, if it's pretty enough, if I'm doing a good job with the text, if it's cringe or uncomfortable what I'm writing, if I'll ever feel cringe looking back at it and reading it. And so I realized pretty fast that journaling, like written down journaling, is nothing for me. What I like though, and what I love to do, is self-help videos. It doesn't have to be about mental health. It can be about anything really. I love to get inspired by people who actually have control over their life. So what I'm having difficulty doing lately is staying motivated, staying on track, staying disciplined enough to continue. And there's so many YouTubers online that make videos about this, that drop like 10 reasons why not to give up, 10 ideas how you can continue improving your life, how you can whatever. So I love watching these, and I realize that they actually do help. Even if it's just a video of a person living their life and doing the best, it inspires me so much. It motivates me so much to get in their footsteps, basically, that I see myself doing something the next day or the next hour even. Like I feel so motivated to do something that I keep watching these videos over and over. There's so many. You don't ever have to feel that there's not enough of that topic out there, because there's so much. So I love watching these self-help videos, and I noticed that therapy, and I know that might not be for everyone, but therapy really helps me. Talking and saying stuff out loud really helps me. And I noticed even that only talking and saying it out loud, I think someone is listening to me. And I realized that only saying it out loud made me process the information properly. So if I had some issues with someone, I had to go to them and actually talk to them about it. Otherwise, I would not be able to get over it, ever. Because I was just the kind of person that had to say it out loud. If I have issues with my partner about something, I have to actually address the problem. Because if I do not, it will just stay with me. So I'm not in therapy right now, but I still like to talk about stuff to process them. So what I do is I video journal. I just record myself talking about the things that bother me. I just process information like that. Realize along the way that I don't need a person to talk to. I just need to say it out loud. So that's what I'm doing. The video journaling. I don't even look at these videos after, because I don't need to process it again. I just need to process it once, and that's enough for me. But of course you can keep re-watching these videos and how you felt that day and how you can do better or how to improve or whatever you want to take out of these videos you can do. So find out what you need to do to feel better. If it's talking, if it's listening to someone talk about something specific, if it's okay if you talk about it by yourself, alone, into a camera, if you need to hear it from another person, if that's helping you. Like all of these things can be a good thing for you to regulate your emotions. So find a way that helps you. Find something that calms you down, that gets your thoughts sorted, and watch yourself getting better. That's the most important thing. Next, give yourself permission to do things badly, because you're not a robot. You're not doing things correctly all at once and forever. You will along the way do something incorrectly, and it's okay to do that. And if it's happening in the process of you getting better and you fail to do something along the way, it's not a failure, because you have still made all these steps and nothing can take these steps away. So what are you afraid of? Because you failed a task, you did all of these things before you did that. And if there's one day where you feel worse, you don't have the energy to... I cannot concentrate. Wait. Okay. So Give yourself permission to do things badly. Basically, it's better to do something than doing nothing. So if you clean something, I'm always getting back to clean because cleaning was such a hard thing for me to do back in the day. It was so difficult. I never did it. I still struggle with it because it's such a difficult thing. So I'm getting back to it all the time. If you clean something up, okay, maybe it's not clean, but it's better than not cleaning at all. Showering badly is better than not showering at all with the state of your mental health. A messy journal is better than not journaling at all. And taking a meal, even if it's bad, is still a meal. So it's better than taking nothing. You understand what I mean? Like, you're already taking care of yourself. And if you're judging yourself by the things you do incorrectly while you're trying your best to take care of yourself, then that is wrong. You're in such a bad mental state. You're trying your best, you're getting up, you're actually doing something good to yourself, even with no energy. And then you have the audacity to judge yourself for it. Girl, you're at your lowest. You're doing such a good thing right now. Eating a meal, whatever meal it may be, it doesn't matter. When there's a really bad patient in the hospital that doesn't eat anything, that's rejecting food altogether, most of the time, the nurses will get them ice cream, because ice cream, most of the people eat it. It's better than eating nothing. It's minimal nourishment, but it's nourishment nonetheless. If you eat something, don't judge yourself for it. It's always possible to get a better meal. That is not the problem. Your problem right now is to get better. Girl, the way you write your journal, the way you eat your food, the way you clean, the way you stay clean. Like, these are problems that are for a healthy person. Yes, if you're healthy, you can think about the food you eat, but you're not in that mental state yet. Girl, you just got up. The best thing you did was to actually eat food today, okay? So be proud of that. Don't judge it. You're basically unable to do anything, and you have the energy to actually prepare food to yourself, which is such an amazing thing to do. I'm so proud. And you're here judging yourself. I don't allow that. No, not on my watch. It's better than nothing. So you did journal. You journaled. That is amazing. And then you judge the way you wrote. The hell, are you listening to yourself? You're in such a mental state, and then you judge the way you write? Whatever you do in your mental state, wherever you are, it is good enough. That you've already decided to take care of yourself is such a big step. The details are for a person that is healthy enough to care about these things. You're not in that mental state yet. You can care about those things when you're much healthier, much happier, much better. Now we're thinking about surviving, girl. You did your best today, and that best was amazing. I'm so proud. You better not judge that. You tried going out and went on a walk? Amazing. What, that walk wasn't long enough? Are you crazy? That walk was better than rotting in bed. Everything is better than rotting in bed and watching sad videos and listening to sad music. So the last part is, and it's not a tip and it's not a trick, it's just be kind to yourself. You're basically an injured person trying to get healthy again. You need all the patience there is. Getting better is not one step. It's maybe 100, and for some people it's 1,000 steps. However many steps you take. There's no embarrassment to it. There's nothing bad about it. Take your time. Be the only person to compare yourself to. I know it can be so difficult. You may lie there and you might look at this video and watch it and think, these tips and tricks might be okay, but I'm still in this state and I feel horrible. But girl, you've already watched this video. You're here, you're longing to get better, and I can tell because you watched this video. And if you really wanted to stay in that state you're in right now, you wouldn't have watched it. You wouldn't watch this at all. You would just lie there and continue doom scrolling. Everything is holding you back, your entire mind. It's like you're in a prison, and I never wish for anyone to need a video like this. You just have to let go of the walls you build around yourself with anxiety and depression, because that's not your home. That's a hole you build along the way, and it's a dark home, and you shouldn't be in there. I know it might feel safe in there, being in that hole your entire life, but it's time to get out of there, because there's nothing that's going to hurt you once you get out of that hole. There's amazing places waiting for you. I understand that you needed that once, back then, when everything was horrible. You're not in that place any longer. You don't have to cling to this hole, to everything that you got so used to. It's okay to leave that hole behind you. I've been in there my entire life. I clung to it because I knew nothing else, and it took me a while to understand that the familiarity that I had with that hole was not because I was feeling so good inside of it, so comfortable. It was because I knew nothing else. I had never known anything else, and I had to get used to the outside world, because the outside world was actually much safer than my hole, because my hole kept myself from growing, from being happy, from being comfortable, from making human connections and actually building human relationships. That hole just kept me isolated from everyone, even from myself. It might feel really safe in there, in that hole, but it's actually a trap you've built yourself, and it's time to get out of there. It's time to understand that the outside world is not as harmful as you think it is any longer. The outside is much better, believe me. I felt so bad letting go of my depression because I've known nothing else but that depression. It felt comfortable being sad because being happy was just unfamiliar. It was not something I knew. It was not something I was used to. But eventually I realized that I've built a home around that depression, but that hole was just my misery. Even if I clung to it as much as I did, it would not help me get better. I had to let go. And I want you to realize that maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe one day, that you're also clinging to your depression because it feels comfortable sitting in an emotion you've grown up with. But outside of that hole is life. There's no need to stay in that darkness, because there's people waiting for you to be happy alongside you and to actually enjoy life together and move on. But I know you can do it. I know it might take a while till you understand that clinging to depression and to anxiety will not help you deal with life better, but it actually makes you stuck in time, because you never grow, you never experience anything out of that depression and anxiety that you needed to feel back when you were little. I hope you understand someday and realize that you can actually let go and there's nothing bad going to happen on the other side. This might sound weird to people who do not experience mental illness, but you get used to things you surround yourself with. And if you surround yourself with depression your entire life, letting go will feel really strange and scary. You don't know anything else than depression. So what do? Losing depression will not make you fall. It will not make you lose anything, because happiness is there, and happiness is comfortable and bright and good. That's why I told you to just leave all the sad songs and all of the sad videos that you're watching, because you surround yourself with what you're comfortable with. But it's not a safe place to be depressive, to be anxious all the time. You've gotten used to it, but it's not a place to be. You should get out of there, and it's okay if it takes time. I hope you see the joy life gives. You just need to take it. You really just need to take it. Yes, that's all I have. Stay happy, stay healthy. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing summer. If you're watching this in winter, have an amazing winter. Whatever time of the year it is. I hope you're okay. Again, stay safe. Stay happy. Bye.